Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, March 31st. We have all you need to know about charges dropped against a Penn State professor, as well as more on the retirement of Commonwealth Campus's administrator.
We also have information on the first state to ban fluoride, along with entertainment, sports, weather, and an interview. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kaitlyn Pfeifer.
And I'm Audrey Keller. Center County Judge Brian Marshall dismissed stalking and harassment charges against a Penn State engineering professor last Thursday. In an 11-page ruling, he found that Matthew B. Parkinson could not be prosecuted because the charges were brought outside the statute of limitations. A spokesperson for the university said that Parkinson's administrative leave was lifted Tuesday. This decision marks the second time a judge tossed a charge against Parkinson.
Penny Carlson, Assistant Vice President and Executive Director for Academic Services and Assessment at Penn State, will retire at the end of March after a 40-year career. Joining the office of the Vice President for Commonwealth Campuses in 2010, Carlson has been a key leader in student access, success, and affordability initiatives. She led several scholarship programs and enrollment strategies, impacting Penn State's Commonwealth campuses. She looks forward to spending more time with her family in retirement.
Penn State will soon change the Wi-Fi networks in use. The PSU network will be replaced by the already existing EDU Roam network. They will also add another network called PSU Personal. The existing PSU and Room Gear networks will be retired on June 30th. For setup instructions to the new networks, check out wireless.psu.edu.
On April 9th, students from Penn State's Commonwealth campuses will head to Harrisburg to advocate for the university's impact and increased funding during Capitol Day. The annual event allows students to meet with lawmakers and share their Penn State experiences. In addition to the in-person event, all Penn Staters can participate in a digital campaign to contact elected officials. Capitol Day is the university's largest day of advocacy. The event aims to secure a $30 million increase in Penn State's appropriation to help keep tuition affordable and support accessible education. What can students expect outside this week? Student meteorologist Brendan Schallenberger is live in the studio with this week's forecast. Brendan?
Thank you so much, Kaitlyn. And yes, we are coming off a pretty warm weekend that we just saw. And although we did have a little bit of rain this morning, it is still something that has been pretty nice or so. It has blended up to some clouds or so right now. Feels like 64 degrees, around 64 as well. We do have a little bit of some wind around northwest for 12 miles per hour or so, but that really isn't affecting too much in terms of wind chill or not. As a matter of fact, across the rest of the Commonwealth, we're seeing 64 in State College, 48 out in Indiana. Pretty real feel temperatures or so right now. However, as we get a little bit further apart, we're seeing really big gradients right now. 76 down in Philadelphia or so, 62 up in Allentown, and then moving over to the west side, we're only seeing around 50 or so in Pittsburgh and 37 up in Erie. This has been a very common theme throughout the rest of today. As we have seen again, 59, we are seeing a little bit more of that higher temperatures or so, plus 11 degrees up in Erie. Despite some of those colder temperatures, we see 67 down in Pittsburgh, around plus 12, and on the eastern portion, even higher temperatures. We saw 81 degrees down in Philadelphia today, plus 22 degrees from the temperature departure of average, and State College itself around 66 and plus 13 degrees. As far as radar goes right now, we are seeing some of those storms move out from the southeastern portion of the state. We did see a couple of tornado warnings in itself in the Reading area as that moves across from Philadelphia or whatnot, clipping a little bit of State College itself. Not too much going on though as we look more towards the western portion of the state. Looking more so across the rest of the United States, so nothing really too much to be seen. We are seeing again that rain band that is moving through the southeastern portion of the Pennsylvania region or so, but besides that, not much that we're really looking at right now. However, as far as future weather goes, we are seeing that system begin to move out. It's not going to be till around 11, 12 o'clock or so, with some chances of showers in the Center County region itself, that we are going to be seeing a little bit of that clearing in these skies. And make sure you take advantage of it or so. As we get earlier on into 4 or 5 a.m. or so tomorrow morning, we are going to be seeing a little bit of clouds, even a little bit of that wintry mix up part the northern half of the state or so. But besides that, as we get later on into the afternoon, those clouds will eventually start to part out of the way, and it will end up being mostly clear skies all throughout the rest of tomorrow evening or so. As we get 7:30 or so, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, just a couple clouds or so near the western portion of the state, but that's really it. It's not going to be until early Wednesday morning or so, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., we're starting to see some of the rain start to move back in. Past that, again, as I said, Wednesday is going to be a very rainy week coming up ahead. We're seeing a couple of those showers come through late Wednesday night. That will continue to progress all in the way into early Thursday morning. So if you have travel plans, just be sure you are safe in transit. Past that, though, we are going to be seeing continuing showers all throughout Thursday night, early into Friday morning, around 2, 3 a.m. or so. We'll be finally leaving later on Friday evening or so, around 5, 6 o'clock, just in time for rush hour traffic. Something that I do want to point out is, despite that we are seeing some of those higher temperatures off the weekend, it will be getting just a tiny bit cooler. Out west, we are seeing some of those warmer temperatures, but near Pennsylvania itself, as well as much of the eastern half of the United States, really cooling temperatures coming through. Nothing too crazy that we are experiencing. As far as tonight goes, though, 33 degrees. It is going to be a little bit chillier or so. Probably cloudy skies, as we saw. Winds are on the later side, around 10 to 14 miles per hour. Going into tomorrow, though, we'll go up to around 50 degrees. Take advantage of these sunny skies, though, despite it being a little bit cooler. Winds are, again, northwest at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And yes, rain, rain, rain is the name of the game this week, as we are seeing right now. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and finishing off on Monday or so with nothing but rain showers. We're seeing Thursday as our high of the week, around 74 degrees or so. It will start to get a little bit cooler past that, 66 and 57 as we get into the early weekend. Finishing up on Sunday with a high of 61, and then Monday, again, some more periodic showers with a high of 47. Despite this rainy weekend, though, hopefully you will be able to stay dry. Back to you, Kaitlyn.
Thanks, Brendan. Now stick around, because after the break, Jenna Wisman will have the latest in sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jenna Wisman with your sports update. Penn State men's hockey made history last night in Allentown Regional Final at the PPL Center. The Nittany Lions defeated UConn by a score of 3-2 in the minute 17 of overtime to punch their ticket to the Frozen Four for the first time in program history. Charlie Serrato, who had the behind-the-back assist to sophomore Matt DeMarsico, who scored the game-winning goal. Sophomore Dane Dowiak and freshman J.J. Webush also contributed goals of their own, and Arseny Sergeyev tallied an incredible 42 saves on the night against his former team. Penn State will now travel to St. Louis, where they'll take on Boston University in the second national semifinal on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Speaking of overtime wins this weekend, Penn State women's lacrosse downed number 10 Michigan on the road in overtime on Saturday by a score of 13-12. Junior Erica Ho had herself a day, tallying 5 goals and 6 points, including the game-winning assist. Sophomore Kelly McKinney and freshman Brooke Long helped secure the win with goals of their own as well. Junior Emma Kelly added 2 goals, including the game winner in overtime. Sophomore goalie Sydney Manning almost reached her career high in saves with 11 on the day. The Nittany Lions return home to face off against Rutgers on Big Ten Network Thursday night at 7 p.m. in Panzer Stadium. The Philadelphia Flyers fired head coach John Tortorella last Thursday as the team heads towards missing the playoffs for the 5th year straight. Tortorella still had 1 year and $4 million left on his contract. Associate coach Brad Shaw has taken over as interim head coach since then, and the team is 2-0 since the change. The Flyers defeated the Canadiens 6-4 last Thursday and the Sabres 7-4 on Saturday. The team welcomes the Predators tonight to Wells Fargo Center at 7 p.m., looking to get their 3rd victory in a row. Baseball is back, and the first week of the 2025 MLB season was interesting. The new torpedo bats drew a lot of attention from fans after the New York Yankees hit a team record of 9 home runs on Saturday that traveled a combined total of 3,695 feet. The model of the torpedo bat is different than the typical bat. Wood is moved lower down the barrel after the label and shapes the end like a bowling pin. Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells, and Anthony Volpe, as well as Jazz Chisholm Jr., all homered in the 20-9 victory against the Milwaukee Brewers. In response to the success of the new bats, Yankees manager Aaron Boone said, quote, "That's just trying to be the best we can be," end quote. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Isabel Holst has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Isabel Halls with your entertainment update. On May 1st, country music star Kane Brown will bring his High Road tour to Penn State's Bryce Jordan Center. Named after his upcoming album, The High Road, the tour features special guests like Scotty McCreery. The show begins at 7 p.m. with doors opening at 5:30 p.m. Penn State students can save up to $50 on select tickets using their PSU ID as a discount code. Tickets are limited and a valid student ID is required for entry. In April, the first ever State College Mac and Cheese Festival will take place at the Penn Stater Hotel. This event will be presented by Allied Milk Producers and Seven Mountains Media. It will feature local restaurants and food makers competing for categories like the cheesiest, most like moms, most original, and people's choice. The festival will also support Center Safe, an organization helping survivors of violence. Tickets start at $20 and are on sale now. The Belisario Media Center atrium was filled with music and dancing last Thursday. Ella Kravosky has the details. Ella?
Thanks, Isabel. Last week, I had the chance to attend Penn State's pre-powwow celebration. The event was held before the powwow that happened on Saturday and Sunday to get people excited for the celebration of American Indian music, food, and dancing. Let's check it out. Lots of people gathered into the Willard Building on Thursday evening to attend Penn State's pre-powwow celebration. The event hosted speaker Patrick Littlewolf Brooks, who shared his life story, heritage, and some music. On March 29th and 30th, Penn State will hold its 19th annual American Indian Powwow. The event is such a big hit every year among students, faculty, and families in the State College area that were here tonight at the pre-powwow celebration. Patrick Littlewolf Brooks of the Tuscarora Nation works to share his culture and tradition with the Penn State community through his music and storytelling. He shared his story as a combat-injured veteran with the audience and even played a song for the group.
I am part of the Iroquois Nation, the Tuscarora tribe, and we're here again at Penn State for my favorite event, which is the powwow. It has been going on for 19 years. This is my 14th year here. It's how me and my family kick off every year. Powwow is like a family reunion, but with people you want to be around. So we come many miles, many hours driving to come here just to be around our family and friends. It's an amazing event, and we can't wait for it this weekend.
Many students also came to attend the pre-powwow event to try some of the free pawpaw ice cream sponsored by Penn State Creamery. It's made of the pawpaw fruit, which is native to the eastern United States and some parts of Canada.
I just found the whole idea, the fact that Penn State hosts a powwow every year very interesting, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it beforehand. And then also the pawpaw ice cream was a big draw as well. I wanted to try that.
Every year, Penn State draws in a huge crowd with over 5,000 people attending last year's powwow. The event welcomes anyone who would like to attend to enjoy live music, dancing, and food. The pre-powwow celebration was a huge hit, and the pawpaw ice cream definitely was too. Penn State will continue the powwow tradition next year and for many more. Back to you, Isabel.
Thanks, Ella. In national news, The Bachelor ended with Grant Ellis proposing to Juliana Pascarosa, a client service associate from Massachusetts. Despite some fans expecting him to pick Latia Gar, a venture capitalist from Utah, Ellis chose Pascarosa in the final rose ceremony. The proposal took place in the Dominican Republic with a 3-diamond ring designed by Neil Lane. After the show, the couple announced plans to move to Boston and travel to Italy, sharing their excitement for the future. Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, were arrested for a $1 million fraud scheme. Turner pleaded guilty to charges of wired fraud and conspiracy after scamming luxury brands and loan companies. Kingston, known for his 2007 hit, Beautiful Girls, denied involvement, but faces charges for using fake bank statements to obtain high-end items. After the guilty plea, Turner awaits sentencing while Kingston prepares for his upcoming trial. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, Jackson Tortone will be speaking with Dr. Sam Richards, the Sociology 119 professor. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jackson Tortone, and with me tonight is Dr. Sam Richards, who teaches Sociology 119. Dr. Richards, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yes. So I'd like to start the night. I just want to hear a little about your educational background and kind of how you ended up here at Penn State.
Well, I have all three of my degrees in sociology. I went to University of Toledo for my bachelor's and my master's, but then I went to Rutgers University for my PhD. And there I met a woman who would later become my wife, but while we were still dating, she came to Penn State to work on her PhD while I traveled to Latin America and lived in Ecuador doing my research. So when I came back to the States, I needed somewhere to go and I wanted to be with her, and so I ended up here just by chance, and I never left. That was 1990.
Long time, yes.
Yeah.
So going off of that, what first attracted you to the subject of sociology?
Well, is often the case, I think it was a single professor or a single class. I was in a different major at the time, but I took this class in social psychology, and it just really opened my eyes to the ways in which our behavior is not necessarily within our control. And so social psychology really studies the hidden forces that shape what we do and how we think. And I was so fascinated by that. And I think going back to when I was a child, I was lucky enough to have a mother who was interested in other cultures. And so I just felt a certain commonality with people around the world, and I was intrigued by people all over the world. So I think it's built into me.
Yeah. So going off of the, being interested in other cultures, how did Sociology 119 become your signature course here at Penn State?
Well, when I taught it in my second year here, I was just a part-time instructor and didn't think I would ever stay at Penn State. My second year, they didn't have any other class for me to teach. And they said, listen, if you don't teach Social 19, we don't know what else we have for you. And so I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. And from the very first week of the semester, I just loved it. I loved the topic. I loved really engaging with people from different cultures and different perspectives. And then I just never left. Nobody wanted to teach it, and so I just stayed in that particular classroom.
And so as a current student of class, I know that's a big production. There's a live stream, all things like that, and a bunch of TAs. So what is the most challenging aspect of administrating your course?
Well, the most challenging aspects of the course are live streaming it and making the videos. I mean, if we weren't doing that, if I was just going in the classroom and reading off PowerPoint slides, it would be very simple. But we live stream, we have all these cameras, we have camera operators, we're editing, and then because we get people watching from around the world, we've reached almost 500 million views around the world of our videos. It means that I have to change the class up. So every semester I have to put together 30 different productions, so to speak. So it's like an episode in a television series. So that's actually pretty challenging. I'm starting to wonder for how much longer I can come up with new ideas.
Well, going off all that hard work, so what is the most fulfilling aspect of doing all this hard work, making these new lessons, these new episodes, as you say? What is it? What makes it worth it to you?
Meeting people. First off, discovering new ideas. The fact that we live stream means I have to be on my game all the time. When I say something wrong or say something that's just off base, I hear about it. Someone writes to me, and so I got to be. I can't say dumb things, or I can't say wrong things, and I can't be too partisan one way or the other. I have to be fair, and I have to treat students with a great deal of fairness, and I have to treat the issues with a lot of intellectual integrity, because while there are students in the classroom, there are people who are, PhDs and CEOs and all sorts of things who watch the videos. And so I have to be on my game all the time.
Yeah, and the title of the course is Race, Ethnicity, and Culture. So why do you feel that it's important for everyone, but especially college students, to discuss issues like that?
Well, we are citizens of the world, right? We live in a globalized world now, and whether you like it or not, you're going to have to encounter people from all over, from countries, and with perspectives and cultures and backgrounds that are very different from each one of you, students in the class. And so for me, I think what I do is I offer people the opportunity to engage with not just one another, but with other folks, and people of different ethnicities and different cultures, and in the classroom, so. About a third of the students in that room are from outside the United States, and so you really get to hear from a lot of different perspectives, and I think that's pretty exciting. That feels valuable and important.
And so on a more personal level, how is, you said you've been teaching this course since the 90s, so how has it affected you, like, on a more personal level, not just, being able to meet people, but just like your personal growth and your understanding of race, ethnicity, and culture?
Yeah, well, for one, I think I've become a much better thinker in that particular classroom because I have to be. Again, that's a benefit of live streaming. I have to be on my game and I have to be very thoughtful. Two, because I'm not reading off PowerPoints, because I'm bringing students up to the front and asking them questions. I have to really develop my question skills. So I'm much better now at asking questions than I am at answering them. And I like that. It just makes it's more fun, it's more interesting for me. And I think that I get to experience the whole world in that particular classroom. So that feels like that just has great value. You can't beat that. I'm stuck here in central Pennsylvania, but I get to leave the county twice a week.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, and so going off more on the personal relationships, could you describe your relationships, with your TAs and the other people who work your live stream and the other aspects of your courses?
Yeah, well, over the years, the past 30 plus years, I've had over 1,000 TAs who work closely with me. And that means that's a lot of deep relationships. I've been in like the weddings of my former students. I go back a long way. And so I get close with them and they get close with me. And then I really, because I treat TAs as equals and they see me as an equal and we're really collaborating, I can't do what I do without them. And each role that they play is very important. It's like here in the studio, every single person plays an important role. And I recognize that. I'm just one of a larger team. And so it's really nice to stay engaged with people in that way. And my TAs come from all over the world. And so, I get to know them, I get to know their parents. And it's just it's really fascinating. It's good.
So we're running a little short on time, but I want one more question out of you. So what would you say to any prospective student here at Penn State who's planning or is considering taking your course?
Listen, Mom, the ideal course is one in which you get to learn at your own pace and you get to think on your own terms. And so in my class, you don't take notes. You just get to sit back and you get to watch and listen and observe and think. And that's what a university is all about. And we touch upon the most challenging perspectives and issues that are out in the world today. This is college, right? Take everything that's most challenging. You sit back in a room and you get to think on your own terms about a wide range of perspectives related to those issues, and you get to listen to your classmates. What a better way to learn than that? So that's what I would tell anybody. If you want a class like that, well, first off, watch some of the videos, and if it's a place you want to be, then join up.
All right, thank you so much for coming in here tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome.
In Kansas, a babysitter checking for a monster under their kid's bed came face to face with a man. There was a struggle between the babysitter and the man that knocked the child to the ground. The suspect was gone when police arrived, but the babysitter relayed that the child had been complaining about a monster before she found the suspect. He was captured after a foot chase the next day. The man had once lived in the home but had a protection from abuse order issued against him to stay away from the property. He's being held in jail on a $500,000 bond.
Georgia lawmakers have backed away from creating a statewide database to track students who might commit violence. A compromise version of House Bill 268 passed the Senate Judiciary Committee and is set for final passage in Georgia's 2025 legislative session. The bill still requires police to report threats made by students to schools, but removes the provision to mandate threat management teams and database creation. The bill also requires public schools to provide panic buttons to employees, submit campus maps annually, and mandates faster record transfers when students change schools.
In March 2018, a doors-off sightseeing helicopter crashed into New York City's East River, resulting in the deaths of all 5 passengers. In March 2025, the family of Trevor Cadigan, a 26-year-old journalist who died in the crash, settled a wrongful death lawsuit for $90 million, reducing a previous $116 million jury award to avoid prolonged appeals. Following the tragedy, Fly Nyan, the company that arranged the flight, implemented enhanced safety measures, and the FAA introduced stricter regulations for doors-off flights with tight seat restraints.
Utah has become the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. The move has sparked opposition from dentists and health organizations, including the American Dental Association, which warned it could negatively impact oral health, particularly among low-income communities. Supporters of the ban argue it is a matter of personal choice. The law will take effect on May 7th as Utah joins other states considering similar measures, while the CDC and World Health Organization continue to back fluoridization as safe and cost-effective measures to reduce cavities. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.